All praises to our power, Yahawashi.
A lot of people doubt the authenticity of the Bible when history itself shows you that the Bible is true. Okay? The children of Israel, the sons and daughters of Israel, sojourned in the land of Egypt. Okay? They came into the land of Egypt because there was a famine in the land of Canaan. All right? And history, when you look into the history of the world today, they called the people that sojourned in the land of Egypt, they called them Hyksos, which means shepherd kings. Those were Israelites. Those were the descendants of Jacob. Okay? 70 souls sojourned in the land of Egypt, and they multiplied and became innumerable, and the Egyptians enslaved them, because if they didn't, the people of Israel would have conquered the Egyptians. Okay? So the Egyptians enslaved the Israelites, and the Israelites built up their empire. They built up the empire of the Egyptians, and Egypt became a world power. Okay? That story happened to show the power of the Most High Yahweh. All right? Because the Lord exalted his name by bringing wonders and great signs and miracles and plagues upon the land of Egypt, so he can take the Israelites up out of the land of Egypt by the hand of Moses. Okay? Most High Yahweh raised up a leader for Israel, a man by the name of Moses, a Levite, which Moses' name in the Hebrew is Mashah, which means drawn out, because he was drawn out the water when he was an infant, because the Egyptians were murdering all of the Hebrew sons, all of the Israelite sons, but Moses was spared. Moses was drawn out the water by Pharaoh's daughter. She saw Moses and she had compassion on Moses, and she raised Moses up as her own son. Moses was called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. So Moses grew up in Pharaoh's house, but Moses still knew that he wasn't an Egyptian. Moses knew that he was an Israelite, and when Moses got older, Moses cared about his own people. All right? So the Lord used Moses. All right? And the Lord appeared unto Moses as an angel of the Lord in a burning bush. Exodus chapter 3, verse 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of the Most High, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. Because it was an angel of the Lord. Okay? You know, when you keep reading on, you know, the Lord ordains Moses, you know, to speak in his name and to go before Pharaoh, to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. All right? Moses and his brother Aaron. Okay? You know, and the Lord gave Moses his name. All right? His name is Yahweh. The Most High gave Moses his name. And the Most High Yahweh gave Moses his name. So when Moses went to the children of Israel to let them know that the Lord was going to deliver them, they would know the name of that power that delivered them. And so Moses went unto Pharaoh, Moses and his brother Aaron, and they went before Pharaoh, telling Pharaoh to let the Israelites go. And if he wouldn't let the Israelites go, then the Lord would plague Egypt. All right? Moses and Aaron used spiritual power from the Most High Yahweh and plagued Egypt Exodus chapter 9, verse 13. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith Yahweh, power of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. So this whole story of Egypt happened so that the name of Yahweh could be exalted, man. And it was exalted, okay? And you know, Pharaoh didn't willingly let the Israelites go, all right, even after those plagues, because jumping up to verse 12, Exodus 9 and 12, and Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had spoken unto Moses. So the Most High Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he wouldn't let the Israelites go, just so the Most High can plague Egypt further, man. And when you read about the plagues of Egypt, it was 10 plagues, all right? All their water was turned into blood. Their water, their streams, their rivers, all right? Their drinking water was turned into blood. They had frogs, the plague of frogs, the plague of lice, flies, disease on beasts, boils on man and beast, hail and fire mixed together, locusts, the plague of darkness, and the death of the firstborn son and beast. All right, the death of the firstborn of man and beast. Okay, which is why we have the Passover, because the Lord passed over Israel. All right, when he was going to slay the Egyptians, their firstborn. All right, and in every one of their houses there was one dead, man. Okay, and that's why we keep the Passover, man. You know, and spiritually, today Yahawashi, he's the Passover lamb. All right, he is that Passover lamb, so we still keep that Passover, man, and we're covered by his blood. All right, because Yahawashi was that sacrificial lamb for Israel. Okay, the Lord, he's going to pass over Egypt again, and this time it's going to be America, man, because a lot of death and destruction is coming to America. But the whole point is that the story of the Exodus of the children of Israel from out of the land of Egypt, that story happened, man. And the word Exodus itself, Exodus means exit, to go out. All right, to exit. The whole purpose of us being in captivity was for the Lord to get us out of captivity, man. All right. You know, and in ancient Egypt, it was a glorious way how it happened. All right, because the Lord parted the Red Sea, man. All right, the Gulf of Suez. The Lord parted the waters so that we may go through on dry ground, man. All right, Exodus chapter 14, verse 21. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. So we went out in glory, man. All right, you know, We went out of the land of Egypt in glory, man. Okay? That was a glorious deliverance, man. So that's why we still remember the story of Israel being in the land of Egypt, man, and being delivered from the land of Egypt. All right? Being delivered from the Egyptians, man. Okay? And then the Lord brought Israel to Mount Sinai, gave them the 10 commandments, which is more than 10. All right? The 10 commandments, those are just the principal commandments. There are 613 laws, okay? But the point is that the Lord brought Israel out of the land of Egypt and made a covenant with them, man. All right? That we know is the old covenant, okay? And we're still supposed to keep the law to this day. But basically, that story happened, man. That's why the so-called white man Esau, he's obsessed with making movies about it. You had the movie 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston, okay? When they had all the characters as Edomites, so-called white people. Even the Egyptians were Edomites. That story is off, man. By how the characters look. But that story happened, all right? But they weren't Edomites, man. All right? They were you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's who it really was, okay? And Esau, he's obsessed with making these movies, man. All right? And even the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is a movie by Steven Spielberg. In that movie, they have the chariot coming down over this mountain they call Devil's Tower in Crook County, Wyoming. It's called Devil's Tower, and it's in Crook County, Wyoming. And that's likened to how the chariot of the Lord appeared over Mount Sinai, man, when Israel received the law, statutes, and commandments. So why does Esau make movies like this, man? That's in comparison to the scriptures. All right? Not too long ago, you had Ridley Scott make the movie Exodus, Gods, and Kings, which that movie was just entertainment. You know, they had a lot of bull crap in that movie. But why is the so-called white man obsessed with making these movies? Because the so-called white man knows that story actually happened, man. All right? And it's going to be a new Exodus from the new Egypt that we're in right now. All right? And this new Exodus is going to far surpass the glory that the Lord did in ancient Egypt, man. All right? Because America is the new Egypt. Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 14. Therefore behold, the days come, saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So we know about that story, okay? But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. The land of the north is North America, and Israel has been scattered throughout all the corners of the earth, man. Israel is in all countries of the earth right now. All right, so the Lord is going to deliver us from wherever we've been scattered, man. All right, but that main deliverance is going to be in America, which is the land of the north, which is spiritually Egypt, America. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. All right, so that's why we remember the story of Israel coming out of the land of Egypt, because the Lord is going to bring Israel out of the land of Egypt again. All right, America. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahawashi. I hope this is edifying. Shalom.